Hello, everyone. Welcome to chapter 236 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. It is the weekend edition, and it's the evening after my class, and I'm in my shop just puttering around. And wouldn't you know it, all of a sudden it leads to a video. So, if you want to see what I was up to, all you need to do is stay tuned. Well, I'm not much of a sit in the house and watch TV kind of person, although I do my fair share of that, but it's usually later in the evening. I just came out to the shop after supper to play a little bit and to look at things at the end of the day. Yeah, we had class today, so got an acoustic, or sorry, an electric guitar here. Um, my student worked on this rear cavity cover. We put magnets in it, and it worked really nicely. That worked good. There's an acoustic guitar in the form behind me. And I don't know, it was fun. It was a good day. But I like to look around the shop and maybe pick up some things that I hadn't picked up for a while. And I've been on this hollowing tool thing for a while now, ever since the last class that was here about a month ago. So I I realized I have two like this that are basically and uh, bent, and the place for the cutter to go flattened out, and the hole drilled and tapped for I think a 1024 screw. But anyway, I had these sitting around, and I thought, well, maybe what I should do is I should make a handle for one of these and kind of make a prototype. And again, making a prototype. So I think my goal is to eventually have, well, probably one for each of my student lathes. So that would be 8 of them. And that way we could do a hollowing class here, but I'm going to make one and then I want to try it and use it. These are a little lighter than my favorite. This is my favorite, and this is 5/8, but it's ground away. I like this tool. These are 1/2 inch material, and I'm wondering for my little lathes, if we're going to do small pieces, if this is going to be enough. I think that must be because I copied them from somewhere. But the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm not going to make this handle. I love this handle. It's got great grip and it's nice and heavy. It's got some weight. And this covering is actually air seeder hose. So I can buy this at Princess Auto, but I'm not going to do this. So I might make another handle like this for myself. But for the student lathes, they're going to have a wooden handle. So I thought I would take some wood that I had. I have a square of birch left over from, I think, from cutting up skateboard stuff or longboard stuff. And I have a few of these left over yet. So I'm going to put one of these in a wooden handle and drill a hole here to accept the cutter. And that's what we're going to do today. So hopefully that's something that'll interest you because it sure is fun to play with. So anyway, we'll see you at the lathe. We're going to turn the handle first. Well, I should have mentioned which lathe we were going to, and we're going to start at the wood lathe. We will eventually make it across the shop to the metal lathe as well. And another thing that you may notice is depending on where I stand, the top of my head's going to be cut off, but that's not that big a deal. So what I'm going to do first is drill the hole. This takes a 5/8 hole in one end, and it goes about 2.5 inches. And I don't really have this set up to do this really well. This is a bit of a joke the way I'm going to drill this, but it does actually work. And I didn't want to take the time and get my drill press set up to do this, to drill a vertical hole. And I thought, okay, I am here in the evening and I am in a hurry, sort of. So this is going to work. I've done this before, and it's I'm not proud of it, but it does work. So okay, let's see what we got here. There we go. Now I'm drilling a 1/2 inch hole, and it's not big enough, but I don't have a 5/8 brad point bit. So I'm going to go in a good way here, and that should do it. And then I'm going to change bits and drill the rest. Yep, that looks good. Like I say, this probably isn't the safest way to do this, but it works. Now, I hope I remember where I put my other bit. Isn't that the way it goes? You get in the middle of shooting a video and you lose something? Oh, it's happened to me. But not this time. Okay, so we're going to open this chuck up to get this 5/8 bit in. Always handy to have a Jacob's chuck at your lathe. Okay, that should do it. And a magnet to stick it. Okay, and this is a tad trickier to start, but it works nonetheless. And I do have a mark on this bit as to how deep I need to go. Okay, that should do it. Let's start it up again. Yep, there we go. There we go. Just about there. I'm going to go a little past so that I can turn that yet too. There we go. That should do it. Okay, let's back it all out here. That looks really good. Like I say, it's kind of a hokey way to drill a hole, but it works. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mount this between centers, and I wonder, I could probably put my cone center on here. Never thought of that. In fact, okay, I have a few ideas as to how I can do this. Normally, I would just turn a bit of a jam chuck and turn a spindle on there and slide it on and then turn it. I've turned many handles that way. It works really good, but there are other ways of doing it, and I'm going to surprise you. I'll come back in a bit. 0. Okay, I got it mounted in the lathe. I just put my cone. This is from my Laguna chuck, and I put it on my one-way. They're direct copies of each other, or probably the one-way one was first, but I don't know. But anyway, that seems to work pretty good. It saved me a lot of time as well. However, on the threads on the one-way draw or one-way center, there's a ridge after the threads, and that ridge, this hole butted up against that ridge fairly nicely. I think I could have got away without putting the cone on, but since this is video and we want to do things kind of safely, that's a good thing I changed my mind. So anyway, the next thing we're going to do is do some layout here. Now my handle, my nice one that I like, is 18 inches long. So I figure that should be good here as well. Now I'm going to leave about 3/8 of an inch here so that I can turn this end, so that I have a nice true surface for the insert to butt into. So if I go 18 inches, I could have made the blank a tad shorter, but I got carried away with things here. 18 is about there. And of course, I'll have to put these marks back on after I make it round. But and as far as detail on this handle, I don't think I'm going to do much. It may have a little bit of a bigger, say, first 6 inches, and then taper and go big again like a traditional turning handle. But my other one is just round, and I kind of like that. So I'll design on the fly. I'll see what I come up with. So anyway, we're going to get started here. Going to put all my stuff away and clip my pencil on. There we go. And my grinder's just winding down, and this is going a little too slow, so we'll speed things up. It's about 1500 RPM, and we're just going to lightly start. Okay, you won't see much from that angle, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you in closer. Well, so I was turning this last segment, and I went to the camera to move you in nice and close. And when I came back to turn it to the lathe, I forgot to turn the camera on. But in a way, I'm not that sorry. And if I would be really sorry, I could reshoot it, and that would be it, because I've got a bucket of these things to make. I've got at least 8 to make. So that's not a big deal. But this is pretty basic turning. So I had it in the lathe like this, as I showed you. And I started about 3/8 from the end, and then it lifted me about 1.25 inches at this end. I like to turn the ends with a tool, not just part them off, so I get a nice, much nicer finish on the ends. And on this end, it was important to kind of get it cut decently to the hole, because this is gonna, it won't sit on there now, and I'm not gonna put it in now because it'll be tight. I'm gonna have to pound it in. So, but the back of this here, the back of this will sit tight against this edge here, because I put a bit of a cove on here, like a back bevel. So that's going to work out nice. I've done this before. So that's going to work out good. As far as you didn't really miss much in the video. I just basically took my roughing gouge and made a handle. So I left the first 6 inches about the right, about the maximum diameter. So that was 1.25 inches in this case. And then I went down, I just turned a U out of here, and it's down to about 1 inch here, and then back up to maybe about, it's about probably about 1 3/16 inches. It's a little smaller than this, but that's what it is. And I like the feel of the handle. I think this is going to be a good hollowing handle. So sorry about not being able to show you the turning, but like I said, I don't think you missed much. And this was the end result. I sanded it a little bit, not overly much. I've got a little bit of a blemish to fix here yet, which I will. We'll probably super glue that and sand it or something. And then as far as finish goes, I'm not sure how I'm going to finish these yet, because, well, I could, my other tools just have a burn finish on them, and I could do that, but I'm not sure. But we're not there yet anyway, so I don't need to know. So I will see you at the metal lathe next. Maybe I'll remember to turn the camera on. 0. All right, well, I've got the little receiver and the chuck here. When I last turned it, I had used my centering tool to drill a center hole in it. So that's all good to go. And I've got a mark on the drill bit here as to how far we're going to drill. And I've got the cutting fluid back there. You can't see it, but I'm going to put a wee little bit on right away. And we're going to see if we can get this hole made. Okay, here we go. Seems to be cutting nicely. There we go. Should have had that ready in advance here, and we'll put a little bit more fluid on, and we'll start it up again. There we go. That'll do. There we go. And I think that should do it. I suspect, yeah, that's nice and warm. I'll have to take it out with a plier or something. And I'll take it out and wipe it off. And then the only thing that remains is we got to drill a hole here and put a set screw or grub screw in. I might do two on these, I'm not sure, but we'll see what it takes. So I think we're done with the metal lathe for now, and we'll move on to the next step. Well, the next step is to drill the hole for the set screw. So I am using 17 13/64 bit. This is a 1/4-20 that I'm for a 1/4-20 piece. And we're going to, I marked center with center punch, put a little bit of marker around it so I can see it. Hopefully you can see it. And then we just drilled through. And that's that. That's all it took. And again, you're not seeing my face, but that isn't that fussy here. You already know what I look like. So I've got it in a vise here. I've got a 1/4-20 tap and my cutting fluid. So I'm just going to put a little bit on. I wish this stuff was a little thicker. It wants to run all over the place. And then we're just going to get this started nice and straight. And run it through. When I should know what size a hole drill it takes for a 1/4-20 bolt, but I don't remember things like that. But what I do if I'm not sure is I just measure the minor diameter of the tap. So that theoretically means that the threads will be full depth. I don't know if that's right or correct or not, but it's cutting nicely. I'm getting good resistance on the tap, and it seems to be cutting very nicely. And I'm through, I think. Yep, we're done. Okay, wonderful. I think I'm going to just put one set screw in because there's a hole drilled. Let's see if I can find one of these. Sorry about that. See, there's this hole already drilled, and I've made this, when I measured everything before, this lines up. Let's see if I can do it now. Yes, right there. So if I put it through, it'll go right into the shaft, which should be lots. Okay, this part's done. We're going to put a set screw in there. And in fact, I'm going to do that now because I have it all right here. We're going to pull this out. My friend knurled these a little bit to make them a little tighter. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Right now, I don't know how to knurl anymore. I'd have to practice that. And now the other thing that's going to be important is that all my tools will use exactly the same wrench to do this. So that's that all done. So the next thing is we're going to install this in the handle, but I'm not going to do that tonight because I don't have any good epoxy. So when I pick some up tomorrow in Saskatoon, I'll put the handle together. All right. Well, now that the metalworking is done, other than putting the receiver into the handle, I thought, this does look pretty cool, but I thought of a little trick that I'm going to try. This is fabric dye. And one of the members or Turning Club people and a friend of mine from way back, Mel, uses this to trick us all into thinking he's using ebony for finials and things like that. It works really quite well. So when my wife was looking at fabric in the fabric store a while ago, I picked this up. This is a Rick brand, and in Canada here, I think it sells for $7.99. And there you go. You can take a look at it. And I've never used this stuff. In fact, I've never even opened this bottle. So hopefully we don't have too much trouble getting into it. I read the instructions, but they apply to fabric. So I have no idea. So I'm just going to put it on a piece of shop towel, oops, and spill it all over my countertop and wipe it on. I'm going to get that stuff off the counter. I always like experimenting with different finishes on handles. The handles on all my turning tools and stuff, the ones that I bought, all the P&N tools I could get from Lee Valley before P&N. Well, I didn't know they were going to shut down that division when I bought them, but I basically got everything they had. And Lee Valley's always been very good to me, and the manager there at the time actually special ordered a number of things for me. So I really appreciated that. Now, I should have really filled that little blemish that I showed you the other day, but I don't know. I don't like filler in that sense. Like, yeah, grain filler on my cabinets, that's a different thing. But just filling things like, I don't know. Well, I kind of like this. I'm making a heck of a mess here. It's very fluid. That's why I like custom handles. I can make anything I want. But oh yeah, I'm making quite a mess here. Yeah, I would not do this without latex gloves on because I'm pretty sure that you would have uh, darker hands for a while after. I'm not wearing my regular shop smock today because I'm starting to experiment with different printers in Saskatoon to see if I can get some stuff with my channel logo on it. So I don't know if there will be merch available. And initially, I'm just going to do it for myself, but I am quite happy with this. I think that's looking pretty good. Oops, that doesn't work as good as I hoped it would. It's also drying really quickly. So I'm just going to set this down and we're going to let it dry. And then I'm going to put a coat, probably only one coat of wipe on poly on it today yet. and then we're going to epoxy the receiver in, and then I'm hoping maybe I can go test it quickly yet, but we'll see. I also would like to get this video edited and done, so we'll see how that works. Okay, we'll see you in a bit. Well, I got it dry. I used my trusty blow dryer here just to get it good so that I could get this done for video purposes. When I would do this, if I do this in real life, which I plan to, what I'll do is I'll figure out how many tools I'm going to make, and then I'll make all the handles, and we'll do each operation to them one after the other. So then I would have, say, 7 more handles like this, all blackened at the same time. And then I would probably put more than one coat of wipe on poly on, because I like a little nicer, smoother finish than that. But I realized I forgot to bring a piece of paper towel here, so I'll be right back. Okay, so we're just going to put on a light layer of wipe on poly. Things get dusty in here. And I did shake this before I started to use it. With wipe on poly, to my knowledge, wipe on poly is the only finish that you would dare shake the can before you use it. Other finishes, you'll introduce a lot of air into it. And I guess it's all right if you don't use it right away, let it sit for a period of time. But it's best not to shake those other finishes, at least in my experience. Oh, I quite like the look of that. I like it. It's going to be good. That black, I like that. There you go. That's what it's going to look like. Thank you, Mel. It was a great idea. Okay, let's, oops, drop the rag. It's not always good. Get dirt on it. Okay, that's that. Now we're going to let it dry a little bit, and then I'm going to epoxy the receiver in. So we'll be back when we're doing that. Well, the handle is dry. I just put one coat on for now. I'll probably put 2 or 3 on off camera, but I wanted to get this part done here so when the receiver goes in, it looks nice. I'm going to put it in with an epoxy. Now, this is JB Weld Marine Weld. Uh, it's a marine adhesive, and I don't really need a marine adhesive. I don't tend to be turning where it's wet. But when I read the instructions on the package, this is the only one that included metal as to something it bonded to. So that's why I chose it. Now, normally, my go-to epoxy here is G2, but this is kind of slow. And but I thought, hey, we were in Saskatoon today. I just pick up another small box, and but that we'll use for guitars or other things where I sometimes use epoxy. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to mix this. I think that should be enough. I like the way this closes. Okay, and they even send you a little stir stick with, which is so thoughtful of them. Stir this up good. I like it when there's a definite color change, and that isn't going to happen here, so I just have to make sure that I mix it all well. I think this cures in 5 minutes. It's just a typical 5-minute epoxy, I think. And they provide a little mixing tray here too, which is kind of cool. And I guess if I'd have been careful taking it out of the pack, I could have put the container back into the pack and used this in the future if I'd cleaned it out, but I didn't do that. Okay, I think that's going to be good. Now, take some of this and put it in. I think I'm going to get enough in there that I may not need to put too much on on this. Just maybe clean. Wow, what the heck? While I'm at it, I may as well throw a little bit on here. It'll squeeze out, I would imagine, if it's too much, and it probably will be. The hole that I bored in the end here is pretty tight. So, okay, let's see what we can do here. Now, yeah, that's the way I want that. Okay, I want that's that down. Yeah, that's good. And we're going to take and get some of the extra off here. Oh, yeah, lovely. Of course. Let's get it all over the place right away. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll get it. Yeah, that's going to be good. It'll be fine. Okay, let's clean this off right away, too. Don't give it any chance to stick. Now, I know that everything is drilled to the right depth, so I'm not too worried about splitting the handle here because I'm giving it a few good whacks here to get it in. There, I like that. Okay, now let's just clean it up. Looks pretty good. The weight isn't as nice as this one here. I love this thing. But for people learning at a class in my shop, this is going to work. You know what, though? We really need to put this in and see what the final end is like. I don't think I have the hex keys here to tighten this, but yeah, that should be good. Okay, well, I'm going to let this epoxy dry, and then I'm going to put a bowl on my lathe, and I'm just going to try it and see how I like it. But I'm sure I will. Okay, see you later. Well, I've got the tool here. I'm at my lathe, and you've seen this bowl before. I used it to I think test the cutters in that video. So yeah, it's not a hollow vessel, which is where I'd be using this, but just to give you an idea of how the handle works, I think this is going to be just fine. Get the tool, get the banjo in the right place, and let's see what we got here. Okay, that should do it. Let's see how it is. It feels good. Well, Well, I like my other arrangement better. I like the weight in the handle, and I like the 5/8 bar here. This works acceptably well. This is decent, and it's a lot simpler to make than my other rig. So I will expect for the student project or for the student lathes, this is what's going to happen. This works really well. And I can't believe how good those cutters work. So I'll probably put a few more coats on the handle. I didn't use the best wood I had here. Some of that birch that I bought is absolutely gorgeous. Like it's almost a shame uh, to be using it for like a skateboard or longboard. Like, but that's what I bought it for. So, and that's what I paid for. So I use it. But anyway, this worked out really well. Uh, in an upcoming video, we're going to bend some more of these. So I'm going to make a little jig for that and make sure I get the bends at the right place. Like usually what you want is to sight down the handle and have the cutter be in line with this part. So that's important. But yeah, these things work really well. And for homemade, if I was going to go out and buy a hollowing set for each lathe, I'd spend big dollars. Here, I'll just spend some time. So anyway, with that in mind, let's close this video off. Well, there you have it. I made a handle for my hollow turning tool. So I think this is going to work out really well. I don't think it would take me terribly long to get used to this. I was a little concerned about the 1/2 inch metal here. And yes, obviously I'm going to turn a little more than this with this to check that out. But I think for the small lathes that I have, we'll obviously be turning smaller pieces. And I think with the smaller pieces, this is going to be just fine. So, and then the cutters, I don't know, I thought at one time about ordering carbides for all this stuff, but I don't know. I've rediscovered how good these high-speed steel cutters are, and they're cheap and easy to make, and I think I'm just going to continue. I have to admit, I really enjoy making tools. Like, it's so much fun to do. But anyway, so that brings this video to a close. It's actually storming outside. It's middle of April, and we're basically having kind of a small blizzard here, which is really unusual. As we came home from Saskatoon today, the visibility wasn't bad, but it sure didn't look like a spring day in April, let's put it that way. So yeah, it's good talk to be on the road this evening. But we were in Saskatoon today. I picked up a few things, and I dropped off some ideas at a I'll call them screen printers. Mostly graphics on shirts and stuff are hot press now. But I had a conversation with a very nice guy, and we're looking at getting some product made with RLDR Custom Creations on it. I don't think it'll go up for sale initially unless there's a fair amount of interest. And, you know, looking at the prices, yeah, for this prototyping, I'm going to be paying a reasonable amount, let's put it that way. I wouldn't necessarily feel good marketing a shirt for what I'd have to charge for it, so we'll see what happens. But probably maybe by next week's weekend edition, I might know more. But so anyway, that's what we did today, and got home in time to have a little bit of supper and finish this video off. So please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I don't say that enough. And this was a lot of fun. So if you have a chance to get out to your shop, do some turning, sit on by your scroll saw and do some cutting, or do something This is so much fun. If I wouldn't have this shop in retirement, boy, I don't know what I'd be doing. So, anyway, hang in there. We'll see you on the weekly edition sometime in the middle of next week. Take care.